is you have to consider polygyny to some extent for some amount of time in order to rebuild the black community. We have too many single black mothers with multiple children who are struggling and dying to try to raise these children right. They need a husband.
I'm gonna ask you two questions. One is, if a black woman wanted to get married to you, what's the process? How to reach out to you and find you? And two, your thoughts on polygamy, because I know you speak about it a lot. A lot of black females not with it that I speak to.
Got you. Okay, so as far as I go, there is a myth that I love being single. I've had one sister tell me she think I got a queen in every city on the planet. That's what she told me. But the truth of the matter is, I don't like being single. But in the selection of a mate, because of who I am, I have to be careful. The activist aspect of who I am is one thing, but the celebrity aspect of who I am is another. Now, I'm thankful for the celebrity aspect of who I am because it allows me to get my message out to the world almost instantly because of who I am. The audience is there. I don't have to look for it. But at the same time, the celebrity aspect of being Dr. Umar works against the activist part because people think that they put you in a box like a rapper or an actor who only have to do what? They perform and they go home, right? So you give a lecture, you go home, but most of my work is done off the stage. As much as I speak, I do way more in the community. And so if a sister is interested in me, I think she thinks that I can just show up and be on his arm because that's what rappers girls do. That's what actors girls do. They don't have to do no work. I just need you to look good. That's not my life. I'm an activist. I'm about the liberation of African people. So my woman has to be a worker. And when I look at a lot of sisters I've met since these 22 years since I've been out of college, a lot of them showed up to be on my arm. They didn't show up to do work, and a lot of them want to be with me because of what I am. Not who I am. They want that celebrity. They want that limelight. They want to use me to help build their own platform, So I got to be real careful, in my selection of a mate. I'm going to have two queens. One of them, I already pretty much know who she's going to be. So I'm just looking to see who that other one is going to be. About the work. I would never choose a woman to share my life with who is not about the liberation of our people. We don't have a lot of queens. I haven't come across a lot of queens who have that old fashioned, I'ma hold you down, black woman type energy. So the Betty Shabazz, the Amy Garveys, the Anna Douglases, the Coretta Scott Kings, I don't run into those type of women. We live in a new era with a new consciousness, even in the woke movement, where sisters really show up just to be seen with you, but not to help you achieve your mission, and I'm going to have two queens, and there's enough black women out there who support and understand the need for polygyny that, I'm not at a loss to find those women. I just have to find the right ones. Now, the reason why a lot of black women are against polygyny, and let me first say I understand. I was raised Muslim right here in Philadelphia, largest African-American Orthodox Sunni community in the country. And I've seen polygamy get used against women. I've seen it get used against women in Hebrew communities. I've seen it get used against women in any kind of community that practices polygyny from a masculine perspective, from a patriarchal system. I've seen women get exploited. So I understand why sisters is like, I don't want no part of that. I had a cousin who was in a polygamous arrangement and that didn't work out well for her at all. So I understand the reluctance, and nobody wants to share their husband. Nobody. Just like nobody wants to share their wife. We're not asking sisters to consider sharing their mate because it's a good thing or something they want to do. You do it because it's in the best interest of the community. If we look at Philadelphia, I believe black women outnumber black men in Philly like 1-6, I think it is. 1-6. So if you marry every able-bodied black man in Philadelphia who's not mentally ill, who is heterosexual, who is not incarcerated, and if you marry every black man, you're still going to end up with tens of thousands of black women in this city without a husband. What they supposed to do? Now, you could say she could go to Jersey, she could go to New York and get a husband. Okay, that's feasible. Now let's go to the national. There's 50 million of us in this country. If you married every able-bodied black man to a black woman, you're left with 2 million black women without a man. Black women outnumber black men by about 2 to 3 million. What are you going to tell those 2 to 3 million black women? So the point is, you have to consider polygyny to some extent for some amount of time in order to rebuild the black community. We have too many single black mothers with multiple children who are struggling and dying to try to raise these children right. They need a husband. And I would also add to that, a lot of our conversations in the black community are dominated by certain groups of black people. Government official giving their perspective. Nothing wrong with that. But you are representing a group of black women who don't have to share. You're representing a group of black women who are going to get that one husband they want. What about all the other black women in poverty? What about the working class mothers? What about the ones with disease or who can't get pregnant or who are less than what many men would consider physically attractive? What about the ones with multiple children on public assistance? Why do you never let them speak about polygamy? It's because the middle class sisters, the black aristocracy, they drown out the narrative by never passing a microphone to the poor sister.